whatever amount of time you have is valuable. So I really appreciate this. And one of the things I like doing, and I thought I would show you, is something called Highest Potential. It was the very first oil that I agreed to take a look at and help change my life. And because I usually anoint right before, I thought I would just show you, in case you do some anointing yourself with whatever you choose. 1, 2, 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yes, that is Snoopy, by the way. I'd say my son is a Snoopy scholar. He's written articles that were published on Charles Schulz and has his own channel on Snoopy because he just gets where Charles came from and why. Okay, so here is today. I am going to share my screen and show you something because I'd like you to know that if you look at the posts, whenever you look at them, you'll find there's a big hiatus of time. From the beginning of when I even had it created by a wonderful woman. Oh my God, what a gift. And didn't do anything. Would just stare at it the same way I stared at Facebook when I first put a personal page up. I wasn't one to jump in, although I jump into so much, right? If you ever read my Life of a Psychic Detective, you know that I jumped right in when asked to help. There wasn't a question. But when it came to, I would say, an introspective look at things, when it came to me putting myself forth, you're open to judgment, you're open to other things. And I guess a part of me was still that shy piece. And so I took my time. Once I got going, I had fun. And some people, when they talk about social media and they go, oh my God, it's so all this part's in zip. I go, I don't see it. I know how to hit the delete block and just put out loving things and ideas and find people who put that out and love it all and just enjoy each other's company and make real friends, real connections. So what I needed to do finally was also, I wanted to make a webinar and there were other things I wanted to do. So for the past 3 months, it has taken to wind up the 3 biggies that I did over a year plus. So I'm going to show you one of them right now and share my screen. And hopefully, if it works right, take you right there. Look at that. I'm so happy. In here is a video. I don't want to turn it on because you'll just see a double of my face and you don't need that right now. Thank you. Nor do I. Disconcerting. So when I look at Soul Talk, it is a webinar that you can watch anytime you want. And it has, I'll go right to the feed because why not? It's right here, $297. However, if you want this and you look on the YouTube, there is a code underneath a description of today's YouTube, and the code will give you $50 off. And so, unbeknownst to me, the day this was posted, a woman who I have the great pleasure of knowing and becoming a good friend signed up and wrote a beautiful testimonial because she couldn't stop looking at all the modules early on. Within the hour of signing up, she started reading and listening and taking notes. And so I don't mean reading my stuff, reading her own stuff that she writes when she was watching this and taking her own private lessons whenever she feels like, right? And if you can look, it's all modules. So there's an intro video explaining, and then there's the fundamentals, the overview and the fundamentals of Soul Talk. To me, that means ethics, the why confidentiality matters, and things of that sort. And then there are 4 modules for each of the 4 sections that I find are the basis of jumping into anything metaphysical. Because once you get that these four have a common denominator in you, then the sky's the limit, the heaven's the limit. You know, there's no limit. It's why my publishing company is called Unlimited Mind Publishing. And when we put out The Life of a Psychic Detective, we being my husband and I, it's under that banner of Unlimited Mind because I chose that to mean, remember, Nancy, unlimited mind. Don't say, I can't. That's powerless. So it took me about a year to write the script. And then we had the production company go over with me everything about the appropriateness of how to write the script and what to write and teleprompter and when to tell my own stories and what to put up on slides. All of this was a learning curve for me. Although, like everything else we do in life, there are some things that are translatable from other things we've done, right? If you've ever done a PowerPoint, then getting PDFs as a bonus and making that real takes a little tweaking and learning, but the basics are already there. So for me, this takes you through not only the basics, but some of the expertise you can gain, no matter what, from A to Z. If you are a newbie who never did anything, if you are an expert, there are elements that may help you. I've had, as a profession, since 1975, so you can figure that one out. But prior to that, I worked in the field of and ran an acute psychiatric unit. At age 10, I wrote my thesis, crazy, yes, sixth grade, of the history of insane asylums. And I read college books to understand what certain things are that are not reported in many places. And then if that didn't report it, I was shown what newspapers by a wonderful historian who is chairman of, in my middle school, he was the department head. And he asked me to sit with him and he taught me. He was one of my mentors. So I wanted you to see that anything you do here pertains to everything you do in life, and it's all connected. So whether you are interested in developing more of your intuition and finding how it happens in everyday life and pragmatically finding practical ways for use, or love the esoteric and the angels, etc. I don't mention that, but I mention a wide berth of things and lessons within it. So everything has its own lessons. And being a medical intuitive is what I've been my whole life. And I realized looking back when in 1975, when I began my practice, and I opened up the black and white composition book to write, all the tuning in I did was 90% was being a medical intuitive. I never named it that. So Carolyn Miss, when she put out her book, people would say to me, "Are you a medical whatever she called it, intuitive or medium or?" And I said, "Yeah, yeah," but I never called it anything. I was busy just doing my stuff, and I loved it, and I didn't think of labeling it or teaching it, except when people asked me to please hold classes in 1975. And so I began then. And so this is a conglomeration of ideas, lessons, and stories that anybody can utilize. The same with animal communication. I truly take you from A to Z here because I had never been near a horse in my life, except sat on one pony for about 30 seconds for a photo in Brooklyn when I was, I think, 5 or 6. Never. And one of the stories is the very first horse I ever worked with. And that alone, I'll share with you because you'll get what I mean. I had never been near a horse. And when I was led to this one, you can read the whole story in the book or listen to this. I didn't tell the owner, and nor did I want to know why I was called in. I didn't want preconceptions or expectations. And when I was handed the lead, now that I know what it's called, the rope of the horse, I was told, would you walk a mare into the middle of the grassy area? Not a yard, just open space. And I'll meet you, she said, because the report is coming. I didn't tell her I've never been with a horse. No preconception, no expectation. Dive in. What I did was imagine my soul and their soul connecting, the horse, a mare, and looked at a mare and thought, God, you're a big puppy. Oh, so sweet. Oh my God. Come on, let's go. I love you. And I felt it. Every inch of me felt love with this wonderful horse, and I was so happy. I'm not going to tell you the rest of it. I can only tell you it was a good outcome. But even if it wasn't a good outcome, I would have still put that in so you can know the risk taking is the risk of the unknown with some parameters, right? Soul to soul. That's why I call this soul talk. Everything is, if it's not soul talk, it's what I call curtain talk. I used to call it when I was, I guess, in my 20s, because it was, why can't we all talk real? Why can't we all talk deep? I love it so. And in today's world, I thank everybody because I get to play with a lot of good people. Okay, so the final module, there are 4 modules of these, and then 2 extras on the fundamentals and etc. overview. So the last one is on being a psychic detective. And of course, this is on my website, Nancy Orlen Weber, my name. You can just look it up and go to the website if you're interested. And the code will be in the description for the YouTube. So now that was one of 3 major things I was able to accomplish. And now a 4th one I just took on, which is a lot of fun. I wanted you to see and realize for yourself, what is your dream and what have you been putting off? And not say to yourself, please, don't say, well, how can I do that? I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I don't have this. I don't have that. How? My husband is a Yoda freak, big time. If we have Yodas all over the house, actually. They're cuties. And if Yoda could speak, he would probably say, there is no how, there's only do. Tiny steps, baby steps. I want you to remember the following. Did anybody ever teach you how to walk? Mm-mm, hardly ever. Most of us learned how not to fall because we saw something we wanted and we went for it. We struggled. Some of us couldn't walk. Some could. Some needed casts on their legs. And some could never walk. But whatever happened, we learned how to do something because we saw something we wanted. We felt something we wanted. We can be blind and feel the feet dancing of others, right? Or we can be deaf and still feel the um, vibrations of music. Whatever it is, if we want to, and we've seen this everywhere, communication and technology has allowed us to see people who are deaf sing beautifully. People who are blind, what happens? People are creating things for them so that they don't need canes. They can have little vibrations saying, you're close to the wall. We can do anything. It's not how, it's, I have a thought, I have a dream, I have an idea. Take the baby steps. If you are somebody who had been able to walk as a child, it means you were in a little something lying down and you saw standing up and you went, oh, I won't do that. Oh, I have to roll over first. Oh my God, it's so hard. Okay. Oh, I rolled over. Oh, I put my toes in my mouth even. Oh, I can move. And then I can sit with help. And they strap me in. And then they put me down and they hold me while I hold on to something. And then they let go, I let go, and boom. And but they were walking. And I saw somebody running and jumping and jump rope, right? I want you to consider that's the same thing with any dream you have now. Hey, for those of you who are younger than me, which means most of you, I'm 80, just to be clear. Okay? Don't let go of a dream unless it's something totally ridiculous. It takes work. It takes A, B, C, D, E, F. It's not A, J, L, Z. I'm there. Don't skip over the fine points because they're the tools you will need later. You know, the fine points for me on that course was an editor who would send it to me and say, go over everything. Every little. Suddenly I thought, I have to check everything. I know me. I want you to know you. I want you to take action. Take action on something that would please you to do. And if you need more intuition, if you want to sharpen everything, it's why I left Psychic Detective as the last module. Some people will skip and go, it doesn't matter, and you do what you want. But for me, that is the hardest challenge. And once you can do any of the hardest challenge for you, everything else becomes easy. So when I did that script, I had the courage to say, I'm going to learn how to do a third book a different way. I'm going to learn from experts on knowing how to start the book off the right way. Signed up for a 1 to 2 year course. Never in my life would I have dreamt doing that. So I want you to take an action. And if one of the actions that you take is to take my online course, there will be more following that. First, the bonus, then the community that I want to develop with that. And I do a free Zoom now, probably once every 3 or 4 weeks for anybody open, and we talk. So welcome to Soul Talk, and thank you for watching today. And whatever you do, consider that all is possible. It does take effort. Baby steps become big quantum leaps. I wish you all peace. I wish you all joy. And most of all, the health to enjoy it all.